Welcome to Coin Collector's World, where we explore the stories behind the smallest coins that hide the biggest secrets. Today we are going deep into one of the most fascinating coins in American history, the 1985 1-cent coin without a mint mark. It is a coin that most people would never think twice about, but in the world of coin collecting, it has become a tiny piece of treasure that could change someone's life forever. When you look at an ordinary penny, it feels like nothing special. You might toss it into a jar, forget about it in a drawer, or spend it without a thought. But once in a while, an ordinary-looking coin turns out to be extraordinary. The 1985 no-mint mark penny is one of those coins that reminds us how easily a fortune can hide in plain sight. Let's start with the story of this coin. The 1-cent piece of 1985 carries the well-known portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front. It was designed by Victor David Brenner back in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Since then, his image has remained on the penny, making it one of the most recognized coins in the world. On most 1985 pennies, right below the date, you'll notice a small mint mark, usually a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But the coin we are talking about today has no mint mark at all. That means it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which often made coins without adding its letter mark. Millions of these coins were made, but not all of them are the same. Some have special qualities, rare errors, and almost perfect preservation that make them incredibly valuable to collectors. The first thing that can make a 1985 no-mint mark penny valuable is an error that occurred during minting. Sometimes, the machinery at the mint presses the design twice, creating what collectors call a double die. Other times, the coin may have been struck slightly off-center, or the lettering and numbers may appear misaligned or faint. These small mistakes are what make a coin stand out. While most people wouldn't even notice, a trained collector's eye can spot these details instantly, and that difference can be worth thousands. The second reason for high value is the condition of the coin. Collectors love coins that look brand new. A coin that has never been used, never circulated, and still shines as if it just left the mint is called a mint state coin. If it is graded by a professional grading company such as PCGS or NGC and receives a high rating, it becomes far more valuable than a regular one. Even the slightest scratch or dullness can affect the grade, which is why perfect condition coins are so rare and sought after. Another important factor is collector demand. The Lincoln Cent series is one of the most collected coin series ever made. There are collectors who dedicate their entire lives to finding every variety and error of these coins. They know that even a small variation, like a missing mint mark or a tiny difference in the design, can make a coin historically significant. Imagine sitting at home one evening, counting your change, and suddenly noticing that your 1985 penny doesn't have a mint mark. It looks clean, it has sharp edges, and it shines differently from the rest. You might not think much of it at first, but a closer look could reveal that it's something special. Many people have stories of discovering rare coins accidentally, in old jars, piggy banks, or collections passed down from family members. Sometimes those small discoveries turn into incredible surprises. Every year, coin collectors uncover hidden treasures that were never expected to exist. The 1985 no-mint mark penny has become one of those coins that collectors love to talk about. In certain cases, when these coins are found in mint state condition with unique features, they've sold for astonishing amounts in auctions. The excitement around them continues to grow as more people realize how valuable these small coins can become. So, what should you do if you find a 1985 penny with no mint mark? First, do not clean it, because cleaning a coin can actually lower its value. Handle it carefully by the edges and place it in a protective holder. Then, take it to a professional coin dealer or submit it to a grading company to verify its authenticity and condition. Once graded, you'll know exactly what you're holding, and if you're lucky, you might be holding something far more valuable than you ever imagined. The beauty of coin collecting is that every coin has a story. Each penny, nickel, or dollar carries history, design, and sometimes even mystery. The 1985 penny tells a story of how something as small as 1 cent can become a prized possession for collectors around the world. It reminds us that hidden treasures often come in the smallest forms. There's a thrill in searching through coins, that feeling that you might be holding a piece of history in your hands. The 1985 no-mint mark penny continues to surprise people who least expect it. It's a symbol of how little things can hold great value when looked at with knowledge, patience, and curiosity. And here's the part everyone waits for: how much is the rare 1985 no-mint mark penny actually worth? While most of them are still worth their face value, the rarest and most perfect examples, especially those with unique mint errors or exceptional condition, have been known to sell for as much as $45,000. Have you ever stopped to look closely at a penny, that tiny copper coin that seems so ordinary, so common, that we barely even notice it anymore? We toss it into our drawers, drop it in tip jars, or ignore it when we see one on the ground. But what if I told you that one of those little coins could actually change your life forever? What if that 1-cent piece sitting somewhere in your home could be worth a fortune? Today, we're talking about one of the most intriguing coins in American history, the 1987 United States 1-cent penny with no mint mark. A coin that, at first glance, looks completely normal. But in the world of coin collecting, appearances can be very deceiving. This small, simple coin has captured the attention of collectors around the world, not because it's rare in number, but because a few special versions of it hold an incredible secret. Let's go back to 1987. It was a time of bold fashion, booming technology, and a thriving U.S. economy. The U.S. Mint was running at full speed, producing millions of coins every single day. The familiar face of President Abraham Lincoln was stamped onto billions of pennies that year, most from the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not include a mint mark. So, if you have a penny from 1987 with no letter below the date, that means it came from Philadelphia. Pretty ordinary, right? But here's where the story takes an exciting turn. Among those billions of pennies, a handful came out differently, struck with extreme precision, preserved perfectly, or carrying minting errors so rare that they became instant collector treasures. A slight doubling in the text, a faint crack in the die, an off-center strike, these are the small details that can transform a coin's worth from 1 cent to thousands of dollars. Coin collectors and experts, known as numismatists, spend years studying these variations. Every tiny scratch, every line, every shimmer of color can tell a story about how and where the coin was made. In the case of the 1987 penny, even though there are no obvious varieties listed in standard guides, it's the rare minting errors and immaculate condition that make certain examples so valuable. Now imagine this scenario: someone's cleaning out an old jar of coins, the kind that's been sitting in a kitchen cabinet for years. They pour them out, not expecting anything unusual. But one coin, a 1987 penny, looks different. It shines more brightly. The details of Lincoln's hair, jacket, and the word "Liberty" are crisp and flawless. No scratches, no dullness, no signs of wear. That's when the excitement begins. When sent for grading, such a coin could receive a mint state rating, often labeled as MS-67 or MS-68, a nearly perfect grade. And in the coin market, condition is everything. Coins like this, preserved perfectly for decades, are so rare that collectors will pay staggering prices to own them. What's even more fascinating is that some 1987 no-mint mark pennies have been discovered with unique striking errors. There have been reports of double die obverse, small die cracks, and off-center strikes, errors caused by a tiny glitch during the minting process. These mistakes, invisible to most people, make a coin truly one of a kind. And when a coin is one of a kind, collectors start to compete, driving the value through the roof. Every coin tells a story, and the 1987 penny's story is one of luck, history, and the thrill of discovery. The truth is, the difference between a 1-cent coin and a coin worth thousands could come down to just a few microscopic details. That's why coin hunters around the world keep searching, hoping to find one of these hidden treasures tucked away in their old piggy banks or pocket change. And here's the amazing part: while most 1987 pennies are still worth just a cent, one particular example of the 1987 no-mint mark penny, in pristine uncirculated condition and graded at the highest level, has been valued by collectors at an astonishing $40,000. Have you ever thought that a single penny lying somewhere in your old jar, wallet, or drawer could change your life? Most of us ignore these small coins because we think they're just worth 1 cent. But what if I told you that one particular penny from 1988 could be hiding a fortune, and it looks so ordinary that you might have already seen it hundreds of times without realizing its secret? Let's take a journey back to the late 1980s. America was a place of change, new music, new technology, new dreams. And while the world was looking forward, the U.S. Mint was producing millions of Lincoln Cents, just like every other year. The design was simple and familiar: Abraham Lincoln on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back, and that beautiful copper color we all recognize instantly. But somewhere in that massive production run, a tiny mistake happened, one that would go on to make history. Most people know that coins from the Philadelphia Mint usually have no mint mark, while those from Denver have a small letter D beneath the date. That part is normal. But this particular 1988 penny hides a special kind of error, something called a transitional design variety. That means the coin was struck using a design meant for another year. In this case, the reverse die, that's the back of the coin, came from the 1989 design instead of 1988. It might sound like a small difference, but in the world of coin collecting, small details are everything. This mistake turned the 1988 penny into one of the most sought-after modern U.S. coins ever made. Collectors call it the 1988 no mint mark AM penny. Now, here's what makes it truly fascinating. If you look closely at the word America on the back of a regular 1988 penny, the letters A and M are spaced apart. You can clearly see a small gap between them. But on the rare AM version, those two letters almost touch each other. It's a barely visible difference, but it tells experts everything they need to know. This happened because the mint accidentally used the wrong die, the one meant for the following year's design. These kinds of mix-ups are incredibly rare because dies are carefully monitored and replaced every year. Yet somehow, a few coins slipped through the cracks, and now, decades later, they've become the stuff of legends among collectors. Imagine this: you're sorting through your change one evening, maybe looking for wheat pennies or shiny ones to keep, and suddenly you spot a 1988 penny. You glance at the back, and something looks a little off. The letters seem a bit closer. You grab a magnifying glass, your heart starts racing, and then it hits you: this could be one of those incredibly rare 1988 AM pennies you heard about. What would you do? Would you rush to get it appraised? Would you hold on to it, knowing that something so small could be worth more than some people's cars? That's the thrill of coin collecting. Every coin has a story, and every story has the potential to surprise you. The Lincoln Cent has always been more than just spare change. It's a piece of history, a symbol of endurance, and sometimes, a hidden treasure waiting to be found. And this particular penny proves that even the tiniest mistake at the mint can turn an everyday coin into a life-changing discovery. Collectors have spent years hunting for this rare variety. Some have searched through thousands of rolls of pennies, hoping to find that one lucky coin. And when it finally shows up, it's like finding a golden ticket, because this small, copper-colored coin from 1988, without a mint mark, has been valued at an incredible $35,000. Thank you for joining us today on Coin Collector's World, where every episode brings you closer to the hidden value inside your pocket change. Remember to subscribe, like, and share so more collectors can join our growing community of treasure hunters. Keep searching, keep collecting, and never stop believing that the next coin you find could be the discovery of a lifetime. Until next time, this is Coin Collector's World, where coins tell stories and collectors make history.